Part 1. Introduction. Temporary Masters of Time. Take a look at that phone you're using to watch this video. You bought the frame, you paid the bill, so you think it's yours. But is it really? The software, the very soul of that phone. Does it belong to you? No, you only have temporary permission to use it. That song you listen to through your headphones at night isn't yours. The series you watched last night, the private memories you hide in the cloud, even the digital notes you take while listening to these lines. Do they actually belong to you? The moment you forget a monthly payment, the technological existence you've spent a lifetime building vanishes like a cloud of dust. The modern world sold you history's most massive lie. They said, access is freedom. But the truth is this: in a place where there is no ownership, liberty is merely a temporary permit left to the mercy of a master. Today, those plastic cards in our wallets and endless digital subscriptions are actually chains, much more elegant, but far stronger than the rusty iron collars worn by citizens of the Middle Ages. So, how did we become digital subjects with nothing to our names while thinking we owned everything? The answer to this question lies not in the fancy sentences of modern economics journals, but in the mind of a genius who watched the stars from a small tent in Nishapur exactly 900 years ago, Omar Khayyam. While searching for that famous X in algebra, Khayyam discovered the most massive, most untouchable property in human hands: time. Today, on Sages of the East, we will pit Khayyam's mathematical legacy against the stylish dungeons of the modern system. If you're ready, we begin by talking about for whose sake the sands in your hourglass are actually being spent. Part 2. History repeats. Digital feudalism. When we say feudalism, images of stone castles and armored commanders immediately come to mind. Yet these are merely stage decorations. The true core of feudalism is the mechanism of dependency. In the Middle Ages, we were tied to the land to survive, and the land was the personal property of a lord. You worked that land, and because he protected your life, you handed over most of your labor to him. The lord held the ownership. You were merely an extra influencing the process. The Industrial Revolution ended this cycle for a brief moment. It offered people the idea of owning their own home, their own belongings. But today, that ownership parenthesis is closing with a massive roar. Now, giant technological tools have replaced the land. In the past, you could buy a shop to open a business. Today, to be active in the digital world, you must pay rent for the server connections of those giants. From the product on your shelf to the message sent to your customer, you pay a toll at every single point. This is called the subscription economy. In this system, the risk is entirely on your back, but the profit and control remain with the center that holds the ownership. You used to buy a computer program or a music album just once, and it was yours for life. Now you acquire it temporarily as a service. This is the new feudal aspect of the modern world. Ownership is concentrated at the very peak, while dependency spreads to the very bottom, to us through monthly bills. Part 3. Omar Khayyam, a mathematical reaction to time. Most of us think of Khayyam only as a man who wrote rubaiyat, quatrains, and drank from a glass. Yet, he was the peak mathematician and astronomer of his time. He measured the calendar with such precision that he even chased after seconds. So, why does a person dedicate their life to calculating time so minutely? Because Khayyam realized one thing: the only property a human truly possesses is time. In the complex problems of today's financial world, the hidden X is actually the debt you owe and your future labor. To go into debt means to pledge your future time to a structure starting from today. That phone you bought with a 24-month installment plan actually means transferring hundreds of working hours from the next 24 months of your life to a bank. Khayyam says in a quatrain, "This world is a place for one to come and another to go. No one is an owner, only a tenant." However, Khayyam's philosophy of nothingness is not a surrender, but a magnificent cry for freedom. The lack of ownership the system forces upon us is intended to enslave us. Khayyam's lack of ownership, however, is so that one may never bow to anyone by not coveting anything. If you do not control your time, you're a total zero on the other side of the equation. Today, in our 9-to-5 shifts, we aren't actually earning wages. We are merely earning a permit to remain in the system. Part 4. Shining Dungeons, the Condition of Access and the Rhetoric of Happiness. Do you remember that famous prophecy from the World Economic Forum? They said, "Own nothing and you will be happy." This wasn't a sentence of consolation, it was the slogan of a dispossession ideology. The everything as a service model. A world where everything, from the toaster in your kitchen to the electric car at your door, depends on the internet and is managed by subscriptions. It sounds very convenient, doesn't it? But behind this comfort lies a dangerous hook. Access is conditional and one-sided. In the past, if you had a notebook, it sat on your shelf. You could read it without asking anyone's permission. Today, a work in your digital library can silently vanish the moment the agreement with the publisher ends. Even more frightening, if you are not a person compatible with the system, your key can be invalidated with a single click. You can't enter your home, you can't listen to your music, you can't use your digital money. While Khayyam turned his back on the splendor of palaces and the promises of sultans, he trusted in his own internal liberty. We, however, sacrifice that independence for the comfort fees we pay regularly every month. The wardens of these shining prisons we enter by our own consent are the notification alerts on the phones in our pockets. Part 5. The Way Out, Questioning like Khayyam. So, how will we escape this fortress adorned with fiber optic cables and credit interest rates? The answer lies in Khayyam's mathematics and his intuitive stance. Reclaim ownership of time. Do not sell your future time to others by going into debt. Khayyam's philosophy of being content with little has resurfaced today under the name of minimalism. Minimalism is not just a decoration trend. It is a political view that throws a wrench into the chains of consumption. The fewer subscriptions, the more independence. Build a bridge to the physical world. Everything digital is superficial and under someone else's control. Have physical books in your library, real tools and equipment in your hands. Build an offline comfort home that will not vanish when the system's plug is pulled. The unshakable power of nothingness. When you have nothing to lose, you're at your strongest. The moment you stop accepting the fake status symbols and illusions of ownership that the system sells you, those great financial gears will stop turning against you. Part 6. Conclusion. Who will be the new owners of the house? 900 years ago in Nishapur, a man looked at the blue of the sky and said, "This world is an inn." He was right. We are all travelers staying briefly in this inn. But the problem is this: some travelers have started claiming they own the inn and demanding breathtaking payments from the other travelers. Modern economics uproots us while it dispossesses us. Because ownership is not just buying an item. It is belonging to a place, taking root there and being a person whose word carries weight. When you finish this video, focus on that first notification that hits your phone. Is it just an update, or is it a decree from a new generation of digital feudal lords demanding money? The choice is yours. You will either be a silent and obedient member of this system, or you will be the king of your own time and soul, like Khayyam, and write your own free quatrain on the walls of this decaying inn. That is all for today from Sages of the East. Remember, you truly exist only when you claim your liberty, not your property. I have seen many who thought the world was their property / they have all passed away. Where is that property? Where is that soul? If this has given you a new perspective, you can subscribe to us and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.